What's going on? What's the deal, ladies and gentlemen? Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, I would have done a video, but doing the video upload probably took a little longer than me just doing a 20-minute hangout. But anyway, there's some, I guess, not saying it's true. Mooch is already shooting it down, but there's some juicy information floating around on NeoGAF. I'm not a NeoGAF guy, but NeoGAF have, I guess, leaked some pretty juicy things regarding the Xbox One, Nintendo, or PlayStation. It is what it is. I don't really I don't really rock out with the site, but but they have leaked some things regarding these consoles in the past. Whatever the case may be, you have a quote unquote a lot of the so-called industry insiders on NeoGAF, and again, I've never been claimed to be anybody insider, but sometimes you are privy to things such as myself, and I don't know who they know, and I don't even know the guy who made this post or whatever the case may be. But actually, let me go here. So anyway, there's some juicy information regarding the PlayStation 4 Neo. They're saying that the console got a name change. I'm going to run that by you. Before I go to that, also too, floating around, they were saying that this is from the site here called tweettown.com regarding Rockstar. It said, rumor GTA 6, rumored to be unveiled September 7, featuring Even Mendez. Sony is set to unveil the refreshed PlayStation 4 and the next-gen PlayStation 4 Neo console, but there's now a juicy rumor that is set to have the internet at rocking, or is it at an all-time high rocking? But it says, starts rumor to unveil Grand Theft Auto 6 at Sony's PlayStation meeting this month, with it being teased by industry insider Tidux. Now, they said this guy here has been hit and miss with a few things. Is it Tidux or Tidux? But the rumor in the past was that Sony was supposed to be showing Red Dead Redemption. They were supposed to show it at E3, but after the mass shooting in Orlando, that Sony, I guess at the last minute, decided to go against it, pulled it from the floor because of, the shooting and guns. I don't know at the end of the day. It is what it is. But now this here rumors here saying is that it's Grand Theft Auto 6. I don't think so with this. I would say, now I never heard Grand Theft Auto 6. I've always heard Red Dead Redemption. And I do think we'll see a Red Dead Redemption 2 before we see Grand Theft Auto 6. That's just my opinion. Grand Theft Auto came out in 2012. Came out in 2012. It came out in 2012. Yeah, 2012, I believe. If it came out in 2012 or 2013, I don't know. Maybe no. Grand Theft Auto 5 came out, I believe, October of 2013. I remember I didn't buy it because the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One was coming out in November. So that's one of the reasons I didn't buy it. And also, too, I'm not a big Grand Theft Auto fan, to be honest with you. I know people love that game, the online. I've never played it online. But as far as the online, the story, it's just too much going on. I don't like those big open world indie games. I like to just leave me on my mission. I like to go from A to B. And prime example, I'll give you an example of this, which I did complete. Rockstar, they didn't make the game, they published the game. I think the name of the team was Team Bungie or Bundy or whatever the case. They're now out of business, but they made the LA Noir. And the only reason I was able to beat that game because I was able, when I went for mission, even though there was a lot of other side missions, when I finished that mission there, I was able to hop in the car. It took me to my next mission. I don't like driving around them towns with them small maps. You're looking for it on the map or the marker. Nah, I hate games like that. You know what I mean? Like, where's it at? Turn down the wrong street. Like, nah, I don't like that. You know what I mean? Everything else about the game I like. I don't mind completing missions. Not saying those are hard, but I hate driving around the city, looking at that map, trying to find the address that I'm supposed to go into. So anyway, this site right here called Tweaktown, they normally do specs and stuff. And they probably, how to get their money is from clicks. So again, not saying it's 100% completely false, but I'm, guaranteed. Oh, now it says here, the last we heard on GTA was our report on the possibility that GTA 6 or Red Dead Redemption 2 could be unveiled soon. See, they did it for clickbait. You know what I mean? They put Grand Theft Auto in the thing here, but shout out to the guy, Jazz, who just sent me the link here. But anyways, getting down to the Neo, like I said, I don't have much time to be here. That's, you know what, I want to talk about it right quick. And because people are souped up and psyched up right now on Neo Gav. Shout out to my man. He gave me the link on Twitter. Jesus Christ, hold on. What's your name? Gaming Forever 4K. Shout out to you. He gave me the link. But anyway, so the PlayStation 4 Neo, PS4 Neo, it says it's going to be called PlayStation 4 Forever Edition. That's the new name, according to this. I'm gonna use it as the thumbnail for the video, actually. From this like bullet point, bulletin or whatever, they have, when they have their presentation stuff, Sony's good for having this stuff on this teleprompter or whatever, or the screen. Look like someone took a picture of that, or somebody probably made it, I don't know, but they're going around with this, as it's all rumors. September 7th is around the corner, but I'm gonna read some of the stuff here and I'm gonna get you guys' opinion, what you think. It's a PS4 Forever Editions. This is what's going to be called. This is what the PlayStation 4 Neo is going to be called, according to this thing here from NeoGAF. It says September 7th, 2016. Of course, that's the unveil date. Number one, on the bullet point, it says most powerful system to date, which is true. It'd be the most powerful console on the market to date until the Scorpio comes out, which is true. It says here 4K output, games, movies, etc. It says current, in parentheses, it says current PlayStation 4 games will be upscaled to 4K, such as the Xbox One S. When it ups, a lot of people still don't know that and say, people will be lying and damage controlling and making stuff up. I had a guy argue me down about that. It was two different guys, and a week work. Spread misinformation. The Xbox One S doesn't upscale your games to 4K. You're lying. I'm like, what? But anyway, a lot of people still don't know that. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Microsoft, you need to put that bold across the box. Play all your games in 4K. You know what I mean? A little marketing. I get that one to you for free. But anyway, it says here, upscale current PlayStation 4 games to 4K. I think, again, this is a no-brainer for it to have a 4K upscaler for your current games. And this is where it gets kind of shaky to me. It says baked in PlayStation Plus. Maybe they mean if you buy the PlayStation 4 Forever Edition that PlayStation Plus online multiplayer will be free. Maybe they mean that. I don't know. So some of you Sony guys that are in, they're watching me here. If actually, let me go to the actual video with you guys so I can look at the chat section. It says here baked in PlayStation 4. Baked in PlayStation Plus. I don't even know what the hell that means. Baked in PlayStation Plus. Never heard of that day in my life. I don't know what baked in PlayStation Plus. I don't know what that is. So maybe if you, like I said, they're saying if you buy this console, PlayStation PS Plus will be free. The online. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there, but that's what it says here. Hold on. This raggedy site he sent me to. Hold on. My computer just froze. I don't know what the hell's going on with YouTube. But it's been hella. And Chicken said Z is fake. Chicken, hey brother, hey, don't shoot the messenger. I'm not negating it's real, but we're just gonna talk about it. What you guys feel about it. Said the console first SSD out of the box. Here's the juicy part. It says fully upgradable components, hard drive, graphics card. It says PS GPU only. So the the GPU that's inside the console, you would have to use. I guess it's a no-brainer. You would have to use Sony's. We're not even Sony. AMD's. The one they made for the console. You can't go and stick a GTX 2550 in the console, or AMD 2930X, nothing like that. So this is what it says here, and DDR5 RAM. I don't think this is real. I don't. But the reason why I'm even doing this video here, I wanted to talk to you guys again about the upgradable component. The hard drive being upgradable, that's nothing new. But the GPU, or that being upgraded, how would you guys feel about that? If you're being able to go inside the console and upgrade the GPU. Now, again, hear me out. Don't shoot the messenger. Like I said, I don't think this is real. But a few things I wanted to talk about in here. But again, these got this, the guys on NeoGab, they're jumping up and down about this stuff here. I asked my man to, send me the link. A lot of these people here think it's real. You know what I mean? Now, like I said, again, don't shoot the messenger. They're saying by Sony doing this, allowing a upgradable GPU, it gives Sony a chance to compete with Microsoft as far as the Xbox Scorpio when it releases next year. They can have another GPU that can go inside the machine next year to put it on par or surpass the PlayStation 4NEO. So that's I'm sorry to surpass the Xbox Scorpio. That's what I really want to talk about in here. You know what I mean? And again, maybe a brilliant idea from Sony. You know what I mean? If they were to go this route, to I guess maybe to be one above or to one up Microsoft. And again, and I know some of you console gamers will say, well, may not be fine of upgrading your console because it's going to be just like PC. And that's one of the things Crap used to say. We used to go back and forth with on BGST. I said, even if consoles were to do that, it's still not the same thing as PC. And the reason why I say that is that it's still a closed environment. You know what I mean? You got a bunch of other different variables when it comes to PC. You know what I mean? Basically, I'll give you a prime example. And I know I say this again, but it's the best example that I can give you guys. When I got my first rig, and before my rig, I got my first rig from iBuyPower. Don't ever use their site. Horrible customer service. I got my first rig from iBuyPower, and it took between 6 to 8 weeks for the PC to come, because at the time I had got a Titan, and they were in the video I guess put a little bit out at a time, and they were sold out. And when you have it custom built, the wires, not all the wires tied up professionally, but anyway, it took about 6 to 8 weeks. I forgot, but anyway, so of course Steam had one of those sales, so I got my card and I went crazy. I bought Dirt 3 and I bought a whole bunch of games. I bought like 15 games for like $60 or something, literally. And speaking of which, I may sell off my Steam account or give it away. You know what I mean? Because I'm done with PC gaming, so I may give away my Steam account. I have a few games in there. You know what I mean? And I don't play it, just sitting there. I don't have any interest in being real or playing on PC. But I was thinking about that for a while. Maybe I may give it away, my Steam account, and give a list of games that are in there. It's nothing new to date, but I have a few games in there though. But anyway, back to what I was saying. I'm sorry. So I bought a whole bunch of games from Steam, and I remember the first game that I put in was Dirt 3, exactly. And it didn't boot up. I kept giving me a blue screen of death. And again, like Steam doesn't have any customer service really, but nobody I can call. I had to send an email, and they had to get back to me. Before that though, I wouldn't Googled it. You know what I mean? I had to update my Silverlight and some other stuff. I had to go to this Russian site and patch it. But it's crazy, and a lot of console gamers again don't want to deal with it. They like the simplicity of sitting down on their butt and plug in and play. You know what I mean? Could you imagine a mom and pop, a mother or whatever, buying their 12-year-old son Call of Duty for the Xbox or for the PlayStation, and they sitting on their butt? I mean, when they get home to go put it, doesn't work. You know what I mean? All hell will break loose. So again, that's one of the things that consoles have over PC. Not saying the games on consoles aren't buggy and crash. No, but you sit down, you put it in, it's guaranteed to work to whatever. If it's not always the same thing, like I said, on PC. Now, again, like I said, with this upgradable, about these rumors. Now, again, let's just think about this. This will, I get it. Like I said, I don't think this thing is indeed true. I don't know what I don't know what the hell is a bait PlayStation Plus. I don't know what that is. I mean, some of you guys are Sony got, maybe they've said that before. Like, I don't even know what the hell that is. Yeah, BGST is tonight. Yeah, we're going rock and roll about 7 o'clock. I just want to do like a 20-minute hangout and just discuss this with you guys here. Now, if, like I said, and again, this would be a smart move if Sony was to do this. You know what I mean? To offer, to make it, I don't even know if they can probably change it this late in the game. You know what I mean? They would probably have to reconfigure the motherboard or whatever they can. I don't even think they can probably do this late in the game, But that would be kind of smart and kind of ingenious on Sony's behalf. You know what I mean? Because let's be real, let's be honest. Once the Scorpio comes out, like I said, the most important thing are the games. But Sony has their exclusive, Microsoft has their exclusive, but what they share are the multiplats. And you're comparing, 36 CUs. I'm sorry, what is it? 36 CUs to 60 CUs. That's the big advantage. You know what I mean? Just forget the T flops. Forget the higher memory bandwidth. Forget the better CPU. Like, I mean, the CPU, that's very important. And probably, like I said, more shaders. The reason why, like I said, Sony is able to hit 1080p 99.9% of the time because, has more shaders, and there's, it's like a 2 terabyte GPU compared to like a 1 terabyte GPU for far as of the Xbox One. The Xbox One has 12 CUs. The PlayStation 4 has 18. You know what I mean? Now, visually, the games more or less look the same to me, comparing them graphically, as far as the multiplats. But, the big thing this generation has been 1080p resolution in frames per second. Won't say that Sony always has the better frame rate because some games are CPU heavy, and the Xbox One has a better CPU, a clock slightly higher than Sony CPU. Where Sony, but a lot of game engines are GPU heavy. You know what I mean? And the PlayStation 4 does have a more powerful GPU. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, so you can compare 12 CUs to 18 CUs. So like I said, that's the reason. One of the reasons that why Sony again is able to hit 1080p most of the time, and they have a unified memory, as far as you're able to access the RAM and anything. Whereas here's where here's Sony, they went with the GDDR5, which again, a lot of people don't know this, and which was explained to me by a developer also. The GDDR5 does wonders for your GPU, but it causes latency on your CPU. You know what I mean? So that's why you don't see a lot of games 1080p, 60 frames a second on the PlayStation 4. You get 1080-30, no problem, but 1080-60, you know what I mean, for a graphically demanding game or whatever the case, not the case. Even though they may say 1080-60, it'd be 1080-40 or whatever the case, not a lock 60. You saw that with the Call of Duty, was it Advanced Warfighter or whatever the case. That game went all the way down to 23 frames, where here Microsoft opted to go with a dynamic resolution of 1080, and they had a lock 60. And the Call of Duty, I think after the Advanced Warfighter, Sony went with the same thing, a dynamic resolution 1080p and a locked frame rate. But again, just going back to what I was saying, I want to ask you guys before I get the hell out of here. Do you think this is something that Sony could pull off? I'm talking as a Chicken Biscuit. I'm talking to you right now. I see you in the comment section. So I'm sure they thought that before the Foxconn employee showed they sketched the Neo and someone made a 3D mock-up of it. Let me ask you a question, Chicken Biscuit, and I want you guys to fill in this. Do you think, we all know that it's too late for Sony to go and change the specs of the PlayStation 4? You know what I mean? It's not that easy. And a lot of you, not a lot of you guys, but a lot of, the fanboys and stuff, was Microsoft showed their hand too soon because now Sony can come out and counter it, and make the PlayStation 5, the 4, the Neo more powerful. Doesn't really work like that. Like I told you guys before, that we're just hearing about these consoles, but these consoles have been in the making for 2 to 3 years. You have R&D, to make sure the console doesn't overheat and a lot of different things. So like I said, it was just that easy to change the specs from E3 until, like I said, the console comes out in probably October. But Microsoft did the same thing when the Xbox One, when it came out, that Sony was indeed the was going to be more powerful. All Microsoft could do was overclock the GPU and CPU a little. That's all that they can do. Pillsbury, Dobie said a $399 Neo will sell as more than a $499 or $599. Again, so you gotta. That's not true, my man. I'm gonna say this right here. First of all, look at if that was the case, let's look at the launch of the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. The Xbox One at first was outselling the PlayStation 4, especially here in North America. I believe it outsold it for November and December here in North America. It wasn't until 2014, like, January, February, that the Sony began to take off in strides because of when the main game was Call of Duty. You had one with 720p and you had another was 1080p. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, and that was a big selling point for Sony. At the launch. Forget the DRMs and all that other stuff. The fact that they had a more powerful console perceived at $100 cheaper. You know what I mean? So that's what did it. Now going back to what you're saying with far sales, and this is my honest opinion, people won't have a problem, paying. Just say I'm saying, and again, I won't even say the thing console is going to be $600. You know what I mean? I would say $500. You know what I mean? But even if it's $600, I won't have a problem. As long as the games can justify the price tag, consumers and gamers won't have a problem. Gamers, we take pride in that stuff. We want the best looking thing. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. So if the multi-plats, my man, just being real, if the multi-plats look much better than Sony, forget them being 4K native or whatever the case. And again, I want to say this, so I may have a new audience. I know I said this yesterday in the live stream. You people got to get out of saying that there's no way that the Scorpio can do 4K native and 60, whatever it is. Because just being real, just on paper, at a minimum, which I'm hearing the Scorpio maybe indeed a little bit more powerful, at a minimum is 6 teraflops. That's more powerful than the GTX 980. You know what I mean? And people game in 4K on the 980. And the Scorpio, again, is more powerful than the 980. And also to this, you guys got to realize a 980 in a PC, like this. If you would take the same card and put it in a PC and put it in the rig, put it in a PC and put that same card in the console would dance circles around that PC. Why is that? Because of optimization. You know what I mean? It's a closed environment. You don't have a lot of other things eating up the resources of the PC. And I always give this an example, but if you're watching me right now on YouTube, just hit Control-Alt-Delete and look at your CPU usage. You know what I mean? It's a personal computer. That whole 980 is not allocated for gaming. You know what I mean? Before it's in the console, whether it's the GPU, the CPU, the RAM, everything in that box is just for gaming. And that's one of the advantages of a console has over a PC. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Zaire, consumers don't care about graphics. He said consumers don't care about graphics and frames per second. What are you talking about? Consumers don't care about it. It's only, hey, bro, my man. Like you, but have you not been paying attention to what's been going on this whole generation? And this generation hasn't been about games. This generation has been about power and resolution. You know what I mean? Hey, my man, I'm gonna come to you in a minute, Pillsbury Doughboy, because you keep saying this the 4K max settings. You're talking about a console, bro. We're not talking about a PC, a console. Do consoles get games on? Is it one game on the PlayStation 4 that's in max settings? And so we're talking about console dudes. You got to, I don't know if it's because you're a PlayStation dude or if you're a PC dude. We're talking about a console, not a PC. What game is in max settings on any console? You know what I mean? To say again that a game won't be full, like stop it. Like you just like that stuff just sounds crazy, man. Like it sounds bananas, man. But back to what I was saying about the price tag. So if you're an Xbox, it doesn't make a difference. You're an Xbox guy, you should know for sure that price has nothing to do with it. People have, it wasn't the pricing of the games, or wasn't Uncharted that made the Sony outsell the Xbox One this generation, or so far. It's been the perception of it being more powerful and the Xbox One being the weaker console. This generation here, I'm not talking about what happened in the past. This generation here has been all about resolutions and frames per second, bro. No, listen, if consumers just want a cheap console, the Wii U would have sold, bro. That's not the case, my man. That's not the case, bro. It's not, my man. Like, I'm just being real. Like, I don't know, like I said, I don't know if you're new to this community. I unwittingly, I partake in this quote unquote console war, and I do these videos and everything. Right now, about 720p, like, bro, it's not about games. Maybe last generation, cool, but not this generation. It's all about resolution and stuff, man. You know what I mean? Cyberpunk will be a showpiece for both Scorpio and Neo. Cyberpunk, yeah, they the Witcher developer, they take so long to make their games. They take so long to make their games, man. I don't know if I don't know when we're gonna see that game. But again, so back to when I was to my man, the Pillsbury Doughboy. I like I said, I don't know if you're a PC guy. I'm talking to you. There's no disrespect. First of all, thank you for coming by the show. I just want to address you what you're saying about 4K 60 max settings. Like we're talking about a console. You know what I mean? Like I see that people try to move the barrier, move the goalpost line when dealing with Microsoft, because it's okay for the Neo, right, to say that it's not going to do whatever, and we know that if the Neo is not going to be able to run the big multiplats in 4K, like it is what it is. You know what I mean? That's just it doesn't have a 4K buffer, and not even some of that. Sony said they if you go into the leaked documents to get it to 1800p and to be upscaled to 4K, which is cool, and that was cool. That was cool for you guys until Microsoft announced the Scorpio with 4K. Again, I'm gonna say this again: if the Scorpio is more powerful than a GTX, the 980, and people game this on a PC, and people are gaming on a with a 980 in 4K, we're talking about at a minimum 6 teraflops within the console, and fully optimized. That's the advantage of the Scorpio. And you got Zen and Vega, which is also, what's AMD new technology, new chips and stuff, CPU that then, which it actually outperforms Intel's latest CPU. But anyway, you have that when they come up, which is made again for 4K, cheap, affordable 4K gaming. And a lot of people are saying that the Scorpio is going to be so expensive. You just had AMD, forget AMD, you just had NVIDIA come out with a card, a GTX 1070, more powerful than the Titan for $350. You know what I mean? So you got to stop, going, people trying to say, again, what's going to be 6 to 7? No, it's not. It's not going to be, $600 to $700. You know what I mean? It's not. I say 500. But even if it is 6, but it doesn't make it. As long as the games, can look head and shoulders above what Sony has, there's not going to be a problem. I'm not talking about down to exclusives. I'm talking about the multiplats. You know what I mean? That's the issue. You know what I mean? As long as the multiplat look head and shoulders above Sony's multiplats, the big AAA games, the Call of Duties, the Battlefields, the divisions and stuff like that. As long as those look head and shoulders above, then the Neo, it wouldn't be a problem. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day. Yeah, Forza 7 will probably, and like I said, Forza 7. Of course, you got sports games, races, but you said, Amaziago, you come here show after show. First, you got to get you a PlayStation 4. What's there not to believe? You said, look, next gen. In fact, nobody's believing this whole Scorpio power. What do you mean? If Microsoft already came out at a minimum 6 teraflops, that's not more powerful than the 980? So yeah, so again, so what's not to believe? You putting your foot in your mouth. Just take the L. Sony does not have. Listen, bro, I don't even know what the hell you're talking about. And I see again a lot of. I don't know if these are PC guys or Sony guys when they go with this whole narrative and and comparing. We're talking about the Scorpio and the Neo going head up. The Scorpio again is not competing against a PC. But just being real, Microsoft is going to offer people an affordable way to get 4K 60, or even if it's 4K 30 at a reasonable price of $500. If the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, even the Wii U, according to Valve, is more powerful than shut them up way wingy gaming, is more powerful than a lot of people gaming rigs. There are people that took the survey, the even the Wii U, a survey came out in 12, was more powerful than most people gaming rigs, according to Valve, Steam. Now this is not my thing. We're talking about, so if even the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, again, these are not my thing. He said it's only 34% of the gamers are able to play at 1080p 60 frames. Only 34% of PC gamers were able to achieve, let's say 35. 35% was able to achieve 1080p 60. Less than 3% are able to game in 4K. Less than 3% are able to game in 4K. So here it is. I offer you a solution for $500-$600. You can game 4K 60. A lot of PC guys will buy the Scorpio, my man. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about the elitists, like the weirdos that don't want to be, you know what I mean? There's some for those that want to have the quote unquote the better version of the multi-plats, whatever. You know what I mean? Now these are not my numbers. These are not mine. This is something that came from Valve and Steam. You know what I mean? And their survey. You know, again. So if you were to take this at a minimum, if you would take a rig with the same exact specs as a Scorpio, this at a minimum. You know what I mean? Maybe say the PC will cost you $1,300-$1,400. Just say, but forget the price. Which you again, this has been told to me by 3 different developers. What a lot of you guys are saying what the Scorpio can and cannot do, because you think you get panicked. Because my 1070 struggles is optimization. Prime example: if you were to take a PC with the same exact specs as an Xbox One. Not even the Xbox One S, the Xbox One, they couldn't run a game that's looking as good as Rise, Sun and Rome. Why? Because it's optimization. And for those of you that don't know what it is developers can target that exact, specs, and get every little bit just out of the system. But as far as on PC, there's 1,000 different iterations. I keep saying the same thing over and over again. Now, one guy said when NVIDIA does optimization, no, it has nothing to do with NVIDIA. It's the developer. The developer, you know what I mean? Forget, what the little things the AMD and NVIDIA can do on their sides. It doesn't come close to what a developer can do, because they're the one that actually developing the game to take advantage of that card strength, that CPU strength, their strengths, and and they can code around that. And it's not like that for PC, because again, we can all you can have a 560, he can have a 1080, I can have a 1920. You may have 8 gigs of RAM, he may have 16, the next joker may have 32. You understand what I'm saying? There's 1,000 different iterations before as PC. You know what I mean? And again, Prime, you want a different example? I was talking to a guy there on Twitter. Look at Batman Arkham Knight. You see how that ran on PC? Why? Because of poor optimization. The game didn't even work. They had to refund people back their money. I don't even know if Batman came out. It's probably out now, but the game ran horribly on PC. You know what I mean? Now, I know, again, that's what I'm talking about. And again, not saying that you don't have bad ports of poorly optimized games on console. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. But, it's far more rampant on PC. On big AAA games like Batman. Everybody's getting wait to see Batman. And the game, Maya, turn the TV down, please. And the game didn't even work on PC. You know what I mean? It ran horribly, and that's what I'm trying to say. But again, y'all always say, "I don't stop." Like, listen, man. When I come to these hangouts, I don't want to keep talking about this. I'm just here to talk. See the title of this thing here? I ain't say nothing about the Scorpio. I have leaks. You know what I mean? But I didn't lie. I did bring the Scorpio up to compete with it. But you guys, you keep going with the 4K 60. Like, god damn. And to my man, what's my man say? What gamers want a cheap gaming. They're going to choose a cheaper the Neo. Look, in my live stream right now, everyone's talking about resolution. It's not about what's the cheapest, and just like, bro, you're here for yourself. Like, it's about this generation has not been about games. It's not. Uncharted is cool, but Uncharted is not selling PlayStation 4s. What's selling PlayStation 4 is Call of Duties. Call of Duties, the Battlefields, the Division. That's what's selling them. You know what I mean? Do you still see prime example? Grand Theft Autos and NBA 2K16s and Maddens. That's what's selling PlayStation 4s and Xbox One. It's not the exclusives. Do you see any exclusive in the top 10 of the MPD? No. Just for that month when they come out. What about the following month? Now, as great as you guys say Uncharted is, right? That game came out when? What it came out March, April, wasn't it? It wasn't the top of the MPD for that month. What about the following month? No, do you still see Uncharted anywhere? And this is you guys, your game. You know what I mean? This is your game. So a lot of you may try to damage control that, and like I say, men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie, man. Look, I'm having fun talking to you guys. Let me see what time you're gonna start BGS. Hit these guys in the tweet. I want to have some fun, man. You know what I mean? I'm having fun talking to you guys right now. Hold up, man. Hold on. We going live at 7:30. Hold on, I'll let you know right now. But anyway, so as we did hit me back, so we tell me to start BPSC. So that's what I'm saying. Asset 3D says PC has optimization. I'm not saying that it doesn't, but it's not the same thing, my man, as a console. I know AMD and NVIDIA, they have their patches and what they do. I get it. I don't know about AMD, but they have it called on their side. But I know, you know, when you buy a GTX card and, you know, they optimize. I get that, you know what I mean? But it's not the same thing, my man. Asset 3D. First of all, thank you for swinging by. It's not the same thing as a developer being able to target whatever the set specs of that system is and getting all of the juice. Yeah, so that's what I mean. You know what I mean? You know, at the end of the day, you know, all Xbox One games will be on PC. Again, so you say that to say this. Just listen, we're gonna have fun with this Pillsbury Doughboy. Okay, and again, that so you're saying that to say what? You know, that's and listen, going by your same logic, all of Sony exclusives are gonna be on PC with PlayStation now. You know, it's just again, those who play on PC, my man, play on PC. But those who play on console, play on console. Gears of War 1 is on PC. It's on the 360. Did it hurt the sales of the 360? No. Halo 1 is on PC. Did that hurt the sales of the OG Xbox? No. You know what I mean? Fable's on PC. I can go on and on again. That has nothing to do with what's going on the console side. Me personally, the reason why I prefer a console, maybe you were different. I like the simplicity. I like the community. I like to sit down and talk. I'm not saying you can't use a controller on a PC. I'm not saying that. But I don't want to play a shooter or whatever the case may be. You know, when I do play and competing against them with the controller, that's when it has a mouse and keypad. So again, that's just like another, I guess, for a fanboy way of looking at things. I'm just being honest, and there's no disrespect to you. We can all agree or disagree. We just want to talk here openly. You know, I hear that comment. Well, there's no what do you mean? There's no need. Not everybody plays on PC. You act like, you know, people's going to go out and buy this $2,000 rig and be fine and get the same performance. No. You know, console game, again, I'm not saying, again, console game, but I'm going to tell you something, this regard. There are some PC guys, like, they don't care what's on PlayStation and Xbox. They're not going to buy it. They're not going to buy a console. Why? Because they don't want to feel restricted. You know what I mean? As a true plea, they don't want to feel restricted. They don't care what's on the console. You know what I mean? And another thing, why jokers choose, you know, a lot of people choose. We don't have we don't have to beg and please and wait to see if the game comes to PC. We don't console guys don't have to go through that. I give you a prime example. Mortal Kombat XL. Love Mortal Kombat. One of my favorite games that came out this generation. The PC is just now getting the XL part. You know what I mean? You understand? I don't want to wait for games. I don't, I want when Grand Theft Auto comes out, I'm guaranteed to get it day one. You understand what I'm saying? And it's not just like I said, you know, they're still begging for Red Dead Redemption. I'm just giving you an example. I'm not trying to disrespect any PC guys here, but what I've noticed this generation, since I've been doing this, a lot of people like to bring your personal computer into this gaming conversation. Talking about consoles, not saying anything. I'm not knocking those that like to play on your personal computer. Kudos to you, but we're talking about a console. And the debate is between the PlayStation, the Xbox, and the Scorpio, whatever Nintendo does. Did anyone care? Did any console gamer care that Street Fighter V was on Steam? No. Those who wanted to play it on Steam got it on Steam. Those that wanted to play it on the console got it on the console. I don't want to see what's so hard at that, man. He said, Weekly said, I don't bother me, man. I deal with facts, man. That's just the truth. Like, and no disrespect to you, Pillsbury Doughboy. I say you put SMH. I guess you beg to differ. You know what I mean? But that's, again, you. I don't know what you choose. Like I said, again, me personally, I have a rig that's more than capable. More than capable. But guess what? My friends play on consoles. Again, what Mike is, you acting like something is wrong with that. Well, Microsoft taking their own intellectual IP, right? Something that they own, is theirs, and putting it in their own store, on their own. You know what the hell? What's wrong with that? Did anyone have a problem with Nintendo putting Smash Brothers on the 3DS and putting it on the Wii U? Wasn't a problem, right? You know what I mean? Anybody have a problem with Sony putting God of War on the Vita and God of War on the PlayStation 3? Wasn't a problem, right? So again, I guess only when it comes to Microsoft, people have this agenda, or they try to move this goalpost. And again, like I said, we're just talking here. You know what I mean? We're talking. Let's have fun with it. You know what I mean? And again, I'm just trying to keep it funky with you. You know? And again, it's not no damage control, but I'm just being honest. Some of Microsoft's biggest exclusives, you know, Jade Empire, you know, I can go on and on, have always been on PC. Who cares? Alan Wake was on PC. You know, and any Xbox PC, they didn't care. You know, and they don't care. Their console sell. What console sales are the problem? See, again, with this narrative, is the Xbox. Well, right now it's not selling the PlayStation 4. But you guys are acting like the Xbox One is not selling. You know what I mean? You act like it's selling like the Wii U. Both the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 are far outpacing the 360 and the PS3. And again, or what they're selling, money in their pocket, shouldn't be a problem to me or you. That money doesn't go in our pocket. It's not stopping us from getting any games. It's not stopping us from getting any multiplats. So again, like, you know, with sales, that sell again, you know, I told you that's that, bro. That's that console war stuff. Like, what does their sell have to do with us? Or how does it affect us on our bottom line? Now, you act when you say that, you act like again, you act like the Xbox One is not selling, like it's selling like 12,000 consoles a month, like the Wii U. I don't care about their sales. Why should you care about their sales? Do you see me? Did you see me do a video bragging and boasting when Microsoft won last month in NPD? I don't care. And you shouldn't care. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you know, but like I said, I don't know your thing, you know, at the end of the day, but it is what it is, man. So again, like I said again, Sony just bought. Yeah, she's Chicken Biscotti put Xbox games going to PC is only a problem Sony fans have. Now again, by your same narrative, Pillsbury, what do you feel about PlayStation now being on PC? You know, and again, like I said, people like to bring that narrative up when it comes to Microsoft, because just say when, you know, before the PS4 took off in stride and PS Now, I didn't need a PlayStation to play the God of War. I could have played them on my Samsung TV. No, that wasn't the issue, right? You know what I mean? Because again, what I'm telling you doesn't matter. It's all about Sony. And again, they listen, that this sales stuff, it's about money. You know what I mean? Sony gave one of their flagship features, which is PSN Now, gave it to their biggest competitor, which is Samsung. Let them put PS Now on their Samsung television. You know what I mean? On their television. Why? Because the people that don't have any interest in buying a Sony television, they can still have access to Sony's software and they can get money from it. Now, if you don't think Sony's going to pay me PS4 games on PlayStation Now, like first in tech, I want to say this. One guy told me, well, you know, PSN Now is not strong enough to run PS4 games. Like, stop it. Okay, nothing stops them from doing. First of all, they're giving you a DualShock 4 to use on with the PC. You understand what I'm saying? So if they didn't have any, if they wasn't going to put any PlayStation 4 games on the PC or PC, you know, now. And first I'm gonna say that it's two different consumers, okay? Because again, you got some PC guys that don't have any interest in buying a console, period. You know what I mean? Because again, they don't like to feel restricted. So it's two different markets. The same way PC guys don't want to pay for online, and they got Xbox Live and Windows 10 for free. And it's two different consumer bases. You know what I mean? Just because Uncharted 4 it will come to PlayStation Now for PC, you know what I mean? That's not going to hurt the sales of on the console side, because it's two different consumer bases. Like I said, if Sony didn't have any intentions to bring in PlayStation 4 exclusive to PS Now, why are they giving them the DualShock 4? Just think, like again, why not make money off your software? That's what it's all about. Like I said, people like to tend to move the goalposts when it comes to Microsoft. Like again, like sale. Like I don't care about that. and none of that goes in my pocket. Now I can see, only reason me maybe being concerned with sales if it affect the fact that Microsoft getting games. Then if some major third-party games or whatever the case may be, wasn't going to come to the Xbox One because the sales were so dismal, which they're not, then I would worry about it. Next thing, talk about Recore and NBA 2K17. Recore, I can't wait to get. I'm a big NBA 2K17 fan, which again is another feather Microsoft had, because we've seen all these leaks from Sony, and there's no mention of HDR. Now, I know some of you got a lot, and again, I'm not trying to bash anyone, but a lot of you Sony guys, like to downplay things when they're not on your preferred platform. HDR is a big deal, ladies and gentlemen. It's a big deal. You know what I mean? A big deal. You guys made a big deal about 1080p, 900p, but HDR and non-HDR is a bigger deal than that. You're going from 1 million colors to over 1 billion colors. You know what I mean? HDR is such a big deal, it's making me go out and spend $3,000 this week on another television. It's that big of a deal. You know what I mean? It's that big of a deal. No, I mean, for HDR, I mean, I don't think there's no HDR 1080p content, but you know what I mean? It's a big deal though, I would say HDR is like going from 1080p to 4K all over again. You know what I mean? Like, it's that big of a deal. And this is not me being no salesman. Like I said again, I love my Sony television behind me. It's great. But this one here, I got in when the hell I bought the CB? 2014. It doesn't have HDR. You know what I mean? But my curve upstairs and the one in the 4K I have in the front room, 65s, those have 4K and HDR. Even my curve upstairs in the bedroom, 65, that got an update for HDR. You know what I mean? But like I said, I'm gonna replace this set here. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, to be honest with you. I don't know. Maybe again, because I'm not a selfish guy, and my grandmother's she's not into like TVs and stuff like that. And I refuse to give it to my uncles. My uncle's selfish. But I don't know. Maybe this may be too big for my desk to use it as a monitor. I may, give it away. I don't know. I'm just saying that, because like I said again, I give maybe a pick somebody on my channel been rocking out with me from day one, but you got to pay the shipping. You know what I mean? You got to pay the shipping. Titanfall next gen. Buy me a new TV. I'm gonna buy you. I bet. As soon as we come back from my date in Titanfall, I'm gonna buy you whatever TV you want, baby. We're gonna make it happen. Amazing Iago. He said, for you uneducated, PlayStation Now is a cluster of PlayStation 3 modified from consoles. Let me ask you a question. Amazing Iago. Again, actually, I'm not even going to this again. A person like this is a fanboy through and through. He's here, I mean, don't get me wrong, man. I don't knock one's preference, but you have to be honest to yourself and be real with yourself. You know what I mean? I'm saying, I think it's $20 a month for PlayStation Now. I think on PC, and not most PC guys don't like to pay for stuff. You know what I mean? And there are emulators out there where you can, get a lot of these things and PlayStation exclusive and run them on your PC. You know what I mean? When Sony was asked that question, about PlayStation 4 games exclusive being on PlayStation Now for PC, they didn't downright say no. They didn't say no. But again, like, what is wrong with that? You Sony fans out there, why wouldn't you want your preferred company to make more money? What does it bother to you? Like, I don't understand. Like, this stuff is crazy. Like, don't get me wrong. Do I partake in this console? Well, yes, I do, for fun, for entertainment, just to have fun. Like, it's really not that serious for me. I own and I play on everything. Okay, I'm not through and through. I make no quarrels about that. But I play, on everything. I own everything. Your preferred company, Sony. The more money they make, the more money they can put back into their ecosystem, and then they can, invest in more exclusives. That's a good thing. You know what I mean? So why wouldn't you want your preferred console of choice to have, to make more money? I don't get it. And by Sony offering some of their, just say they don't have many PlayStation 4 exclusives that I like, you know what I mean? But I'm just saying through will make it a much more attractive bargain for some PC guys, you know what I mean, to have had to have access to their their software and make more money for Sony. Why wouldn't you want that? So again, I don't. That's the I guess the inner fanboy in you. You know what I mean? You guys think is going to the PlayStation 4 is not going to sell. Like you have, don't get me wrong. It's the hardcore gamers that influence the casuals, but the casuals is where the money is at. You understand what I'm saying? So, it's the hardcore gamers that go out there and buy it first, and then it trickles down to the casuals. The casuals are going to game with no PC. Trust me, by Sony allowing on PlayStation Now on Windows 10 or whatever the case may be to have some of their PlayStation 4 exclusives inside the store and charging them, like I said, $20 a month. What won't hurt the sales of the PlayStation 4 by any means. You know what I mean? Not you know what I mean. So that's this. I guess that's just the inner fanboy in you. Pillsbury. I'm gonna say this. I don't know if you missed what I was saying. I said PS Now doesn't have. You said PS doesn't have one. PS4 Now doesn't. PS Now doesn't have one PS4 game. Now, yeah, but I said they were asked this question. They didn't downright say no, but they're giving you the DualShock 4 controller to use with PlayStation Now. You know what I mean? So if Sony again didn't have any intent, or to that doesn't make any sense to they letting you use the PlayStation 4 DualShock for PlayStation Now. If that's the case, they could just kept what they got. But again, the inner fanboy. I don't understand that. Why wouldn't you want your preferred company to make more money to invest in more games, man? Like that's not going to hurt the bottom line sales of. Again, you got to look. And I'm not talking about. I know there's some people that play on PC. There's some people that do both. And again, you have hybrid gamers out there that like to play on. Like my man Dean, the tech guy, Dean, prime example. He likes to play his single player games. On his PC, like Fallout, instead of him buying it on the Xbox, whatever, he'll get it on his PC. He'll play that, but he loves to play on his console with his friends. Do you have people like that? At the end of the day, and again, what's wrong with if you buy the game digitally? If you're into that, if you buy the game digitally, you have access to play it on Windows 10 and on your console. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. So again, I don't. That's the inner fanboy in people, man. With the weird stuff, man. I ain't lying. But let me go back. So anyway, back to what I wanted to say before I get about it. If I got 15 minutes. So some of these just quote unquote PS4 now forever, for those who are just joining, of course it's too late for Sony to change the inner components of the PlayStation PS4NEO. You know what I mean? But they were saying, according to this pick from NeoGAF, they will give you the upgradable. Let's say upgradable components. Being able to upgrade the PS4 GPU, you know what I mean? So what do you guys think? That's an option that Sony could do. Instead of trying to upgrade the specs and stuff, maybe like I said, that is something they can maybe change the motherboard. Like I don't know. We're just throwing this around here. You know what I mean? And like I said, Sony is a hardware company. But again, a lot of you guys don't understand, and for those not you guys, but a lot of people were saying Microsoft was silly for announcing the Neo and the spec that Sony can one up them. Like, first of all, if you listen to what Phil said again, even if Sony was to upgrade their specs to make it, just say 5 teraflops or 5.5, the technology that Microsoft is using inside the Scorpio is not the Zen Vega. That's 2017 technology, which is made and is dedicated for 4K gaming. It still would outperform the Scorpio. You understand? That's just not, again, that's not my opinion. I'm just being, just like we're doing facts. You know what I mean? Sony went with Polaris, again, and, so Microsoft is like, look, if you listen to what Phil said, he said we could have did what Sony did and put out a console. They could have, put out something, again, that was 60 flops this generation right now. But the technology that, first of all, is going to be much more affordable, first of all. You know what I mean? And again, is made for, like I said, 4K. It's tailored for 4K gaming. There's AMD's new CPU it outperforms Intel's top of the line thing right now. I don't know if you guys saw the thing from Zen on it's on, you can look at the video on YouTube. It's nice, you know what I mean? They haven't come out and confirmed that's what's going on in the Xbox One, but if you listen, I mean, it's a no-brainer. If it's not what you're going to use, the Xbox Scorpio could have came out this year and not next year. That stuff right, those chips right there is not going to be ready until 2017. Also, too, guys, I did a video about this. Again, you guys say I don't know what I'm talking about. Before the Scorpio was even announced, you know, when again, I was one of the first people on YouTube saying, well, I was the first person on YouTube saying that more powerful hardware was coming. And everybody again called me everything but a child of God. Maybe it's my skin color, but the same person I got this information from was the same person that told me DX12 was coming to the Xbox One. And if you didn't know, and I know it doesn't sound like a broken record, but some people are new to my channel. I said that DX12 was coming to the Xbox One in December of 2013. That's when it was told to me. Microsoft then announced it to March 2014 at GDC 2014. And everybody was making videos about me and saying they know what I was talking about. You know, Rich for UST, shout out to Rich. You Xbox got, you know, DX12, nothing for the Xbox One. Like, you know, everybody was bugging, right? You can't change the hardware. But I know what was told to me by a developer. And if you don't know, I have a very good friend. I've been to we so tight. I don't know if I say he's my best friend, but I haven't known him all my life. I just met him on the internet. But our families have taken vacations together too. I've been to his wedding, so I consider him. You know, he's like, you don't invite people like, you know, not your friend to your wedding. We went on 2 family vacations together too. You know what I mean? The same individual right here. And now I never said that he told me the inside specs, the exact numbers. All he was told to me. First thing he said that when it comes to hardware, you know what I mean, when it comes to system, Microsoft won't be outgunned again. You know what I mean? He been said that to me, and I think that's probably like a public consensus. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Microsoft got their teeth kicked in for having the weaker perceived hardware. But then he said, you know, and then he said that both Microsoft and Sony were coming up with new hardware. So again, some of you guys know, we used to go back and forth about it on BGST. And then we had the leak from Kotaku or something about the PS4NEO and even some Xbox guys said, look, they were saying that see, Sony they're shitting on their consumers. Microsoft wouldn't do that, release a console. And I was telling people like, yo, like, you know, again, like they have to compete. This is business. You can't, you know, and listen, I would say I wasn't a big fan of the Xbox One S, and I wasn't going to buy it. The only reason why I did buy it is because of the 4K capabilities and the HDR. That's the only reason. It would just been a plain Xbox One and a smaller, in a smaller. I wouldn't have bought it. No, because I don't care what my system looks like. I didn't buy it for the looks. I bought it for the 4K features and the HDR. You know what I mean? In 4K Blu-ray player. That's why I bought it. You know what I mean? And again, that's why Sony didn't show the Slim and the Neo at E3. You know, people were saying it was about the Scorpio. No, it wasn't the Scorpio because Sony knew that whatever Microsoft was working on, it wasn't coming out the next year because they're both doing business with AMD. Just like, you know, AMD is a business. Just like they showed Sony, you know, the Zen and Vega, what they're working on, with their targets to come out 2017. You know, Sony said they wanted the Neo to come out now, and also they said take advantage of the VR. They know, Sony knew that Microsoft's next console wasn't coming out until the following year. I mean, and so it's no brainer. Microsoft's not going to wait a year, and you know, and the console being on par with what's coming out right now doesn't make any sense. And plus, they knew that Microsoft was going to use AMD's Zen and Vega. I mean, it's no brainer at the end of the day. But what Sony wasn't counting on was not only they even knew that Microsoft was going to shrink. They can put out a smaller Xbox One S or a Xbox Slim. That was like everyone's been talking that for the last year and a half, an Xbox Slim and stuff. I remember, I think, you know, I'm not gonna say his name. I won't say his name. A fool. I text you too. Hit me back, son. I text you and I called you Friday. You never hit me back. Ask Phil in the party. Phil, when's the Xbox Slim coming out? And Phil was like, oh, you're so confident about the Slim. So we all knew what Slim was coming out. But what Sony wasn't counting on was Microsoft taking Sony's key features of the 4K upscaler and the Blu-ray and this, that, and the other, and putting it in the standard Xbox, you know, for the same price. So here it is. How could you show the PlayStation 4 Slim and the Neo at the E3, and you're talking about 4K, this, that, and the other, touting this, and here is Microsoft took your key feature and put it in their standard Xbox. You know, and again, all these leaks that we're seeing, I'm still not reading anything about HDR as far as gaming. Movies is something totally different. I expect it to do HDMI 2.0 for movies, you know what I mean? And it's not the same thing. One guy tried to argue me now, well, so of course Sony's going to have HDR because they have HDR televisions. And listen, it's not the same thing. Like, shut up, school's in session. You know, HDR has to be developed into the API. You know what I mean? Like, you know, just because they're playing movies in HDR, that's nothing to do with, you know, it has to be developed into the API. And about a year and a half or 2 years ago, Phil, I believe it was Phil, or one of those seen that, you know, Microsoft things, when they was having those shows talking about Windows events, and he was saying, you know, they're HDR. But again, I didn't know that it was. I thought it was going to be for the regular Xbox One with an update. This is before, you know, but it's about 2 years ago, before the Neo and Scorpio. Before the Scorpio and the Xbox One S was for the announced. I thought we was just going to get an update. But like I said, Microsoft has invested in it in their tools with the X12 and Windows 10. You know what I mean? On their side, I don't know if Sony done the same. I think what Sony, they use OpenGPL or whatever. They don't use Vulkan for PlayStation 4. I don't even know if Vulkan has HDR. Whatever Sony uses on the API for the PlayStation 4, I don't know if they have been developing into that. I don't know. I haven't read anything from them about that. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you know what I mean? So maybe I hope that they do, because again, that's a big feature. Now you do see some big multi-plats game, because again, I know 2 people right now that got their hands on NBA 2K17. My man Tim and I'm not gonna say the other guy. They have the actual disc game, you know what I mean, playing it right now. He showed me on Facebook, my other friend. And that's how it got leaked about the HDR. You know what I mean, that's coming. But again, that's a major game, a big, you know what I mean? You know, I would even argue the fact that 2K is bigger than Madden. You know what I mean? Like 2K is huge, and they have HDR. So I said this yesterday, but like I said, you know, I don't know if Sony has the marketing deal for 2K for this 2K17. Every year, since the PlayStation 4 came out, Sony has had the marketing deal with Take-Two, you know, with first 2K. So if them by 2K having HDR, and if Microsoft doesn't have the marketing deal, I'm probably leaning more towards Sony having HDR as far as their gaming. You know what I mean? Because I spoke to, again, a certain Take-Two developer a couple years ago, and he said to me, I'm not gonna put him on blast. He said to me, he was on Twitter and he inboxed. I asked him, I said, yo, bro, if Microsoft give you guys access to their, you know, a dedicated service, why aren't you guys using them? And this same developer said to me, it wouldn't be fair to Sony and their fans to have, you know, dedicated service for us, the Xbox. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what the hell? What do you mean? And you know, at the end of the day, you know, like I said, I speak to a few developers. I'm not saying I'm anybody. I respect everybody as a man, as a human being. I don't look at them as celebrities. Phil, Aaron, nobody. You know what I mean? It's not a big deal to me. Like I said, I'm more into now who makes the games and stuff. Like me personally, I never cared who made the game. You know what I mean? I never went to develop who made the game. Like, this is something all new to me. I'm not saying I'm any less of a gamer. I just put the game in. I knew EA, I knew Konami, I knew the, you know, stuff. You know what I mean? I never, oh, this is John Brittick, he made. And I never really got into all that. You know what I mean? I'm joking from the streets. So, I mean, all this, like I said, game, all this stuff is new to me. Like Crab and Mooch, you know, be talking about that stuff. Zins and Pello, they be like, you know what I mean? It's not a big deal with me. But anyway, thank you guys for rocking out with me, man. I'm going to answer one last question, one last statement before I get the hell out of here. We're about to get ready for BGST. Hold on right now. Any last words in here? Oh, no. No. And I can't wait for Recall. Recall looks sick, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. And listen, The Last Guardian might be pushed back too, man, because they're not showing it at TGS, at Tokyo Game Show. That game was supposed to come out in October, man. So I think that game I think that game might be pushed back. And they ain't got the Gran Turismo, man. So I don't know, man. But this is your boy Next Gen 720. Listen, the same orders. Come right over. We're going to BGST. I'm about to make the room, man. Thank you for rocking out with me, man. And yeah, let's have fun with it. Bang, bang.